Hello everyone and now welcome to a game between Hitman and CrunCher. This game taking place here on Last Refuge. I believe this game was taken from the American qualifiers for DreamHack WarCraft 3 Open fall season for the Americas. We'll see how this is going to work. As we see, well, Hitman opening up with an Ultra of Storms. There is a burrow. We may be getting a war mill off over here and then a barracks somewhere off over here. Going up against CrunCher over here on the bottom left-hand side of the map, we are opening up with Altar of Kings, building that farm just for template, and then adding in that barracks. Human versus orc, tale as old as WarCraft itself, as they are going to be battling it up, and it looks as though, yeah, there is going to be no barracks as of yet. It is going to be a war mill early on, placing that down in a position where it also increases the amount of lumber being harvested. All right, a little bit of change overall in the addition of headhunters becoming much more useful. Um, it feels as though headhunters have become a well, nah, let's not ride that horse. Let's go ahead and just talk about what I expect to see in this human versus orc matchup. Archmage going to be joined alongside some footmen. Footmen will be using defend early on to try and push back some of the early aggression by Hitman's headhunters. You're going to see some early skirmishes. They're going to poke against each other, trying to take some sort of advantage going on into the mid game. From there, I do expect to see sorceresses, priests, going up against, possibly raiders, kodo beasts, maybe some form of dispel in shamans, using that purge being effective against not only the sorceresses slow, but also acting as a second way to ensnare units, trapping them, and also purging down those water elementals. Now, Hitman is nearby with this one peon off over here, trying to make sure that there is no shenanigans with a footman to try and aggro those units away. Picking up Ring of Protection +3 militia being left behind here, and Hitman still doing a great job just making sure that, the game that CrunCher wants to play isn't played that well. Farseer going to come back around here, a little bit of poke damage onto the units. An unlucky ensnare and a water elemental very low on hit points needs to get denied, as we're looking at the double Spirit Wolves, 11 to 12 damage. So that is actually as much damage as these footmen are really doing. So that's how it adds up very, very quickly. Coming back here, the unit's going to go ahead and try and engage against those militia. Both sides are fighting their way through. Who is doing more damage? The Spirit Wolves will be forced to retreat back. Good morning, Simon, as we're looking at these units looking to get taken down as well. Meanwhile, Archmage heading over to the bottom left-hand side once more, as we now see headhunters joining in on the fight. No sign of defend as of yet, still training up those footmen, as the headhunter count is going to rise. Back at home inside Hitman's base, we can see him already teching to tier 2. Is this the famous quota that got hosted by WarCraft, back to WarCraft? Um, yes, I've been hosted by Back to Warcraft in the past. I do appreciate all the follows yesterday. Thank you, everyone. Rarely hosted, but yeah, it's okay. Let's go ahead and focus on this game here, as we're going to see some more poking going down, a little bit of micro going back and forth as Hitman's trying to gain a little bit of experience. Is going to get the ensnare, and nope, experience given to the Farseer there, as the Farseer on the board with 42 experience. Um, Coming back around, Archmage of CrunCher still sitting at level 1, and this really is playing the Hitman's strategy. Hitman had the smaller army, but was allowed himself to really keep his opponent at bay for much longer. We're going to see one footman getting taken down there. Farseer, can really absorb much more of that damage, and the Spirit Wolves, as long as they are summoned, microed properly, don't really give that much experience. Going to go ahead and come back around. There's two Crota SC, which Casper and W Starcraft, but retired. I did cast a StarCraft 2 back in the day, but let's focus on what's going on here as the Water Elemental still poking back around Archmage, being forced to retreat down to 212 hit points, and the Farseer still able to rack up just a little bit more damage, even though it has significantly less armor. Footmen do have defend, are now retreating back. Farseer trying to play a game of hit and run against the Archmage and those Footmen, as well as the Footmen finally drop their shields once more. All right. After all this time, well, what does Hitman need? Hitman just needs one single well, healing salve to try and make up. Meanwhile, CrunCher has transitioned into the Panda. The Panda has become significantly more popular as of late over the Mountain Kings and that Thunderclap. Perhaps it is a little bit of that range. The Panda able to blow that breath of fire as opposed to needing to be constantly surrounded. This game is crazy good. No spoilers, but get ready. Your popcorn ready? All right, yeah. Headhunters now making their way back once more. Farseer finally gets up to level 2. Panda is sitting at level 1. Panda now starting to blow things over here as we're going to see the Ogre Magi with a bunch of footmen. Well, large number of footmen here as the Farseer wants to perhaps try and gain a little bit of that experience. Is he going to get the experience? No, he's not. Archmage gets up to level 2 instead as the Farseer now trying to retreat. Hitman has been known to really overstay his welcome quite a bit. A little bit more damage. There goes another Spirit Wolf as well as CrunCher really taking a good lead right here. Perhaps Hitman needs to go back, retreat, and regroup, get the proper healing on that Farseer as, well, Hitman loves to use every ounce of hit points on his units, often losing his heroes in an attempt to try and gain a little bit of an advantage. Coming back from here, we're looking at more damage coming back across Footmen looking to retreat back. Tauren Chieftain now making its way back off to the north as the Farseer does use a healing salve and now wants to get a little bit of time keeping track where that Archmage and that Panda is. Using a little bit of that range right there. Farseer get attacked there, losing that precious healing salve. Perhaps trying to go for a flank as the Tauren Chieftain could try and go in for a stomp. Farseer trying to regroup here. This could be a little bit of a misstep there as the Farseer once more down to 181 hit points, needs to back away. And really, Hitman's playing his classic style here. There's a Breath of Fire, there's a Stomp, and are we going to see a Chain Lightning perhaps to try and add in a little bit more points of damage here? All right, damage still coming back on through. Scroll of Speed being used. There's a Stomp once more, and Hitman really starting to use that up there. There's a Breath of Fire. Down goes the Panda as the Tauren Chieftain now heads back off to the... Well, Tauren Chieftain trying to back away. Wind Riders of the transition. So Hitman transitioning into Wind Riders, and those Wind Riders should be able to do quite a number along the back units. There goes a Purge onto the Shaman, trying to save it. Not going to work out well. Tauren Chieftain still in a little bit of trouble backing away as the Wind Riders may be trying to go after those casters, but unable to get the necessary focus. Coming back through, Tauren Chieftain, Headhunters, Ogre Magi, Forest Troll Trapper all going to get cleaned up here. Panda going to be, Tauren Chieftain looking to try and level up. Meanwhile, the Panda is out currently, getting resurrected, I believe. Yeah, Panda now back out onto the battlefield. Difficult to tell when the Panda is resurrected or not. Only can tell by looking at his eyes because, well, the picture looks so black and white to begin with. Coming back through, Farseer going to try and engage here. More damage, Chain Lightning bouncing around. I believe Farseer did get the experience there. Archmage gets the item. Panda sitting at level 1, maybe transferring that Potion of Greater Mana to that Panda once more, as that Panda still attacking through, trying to clear up all of these units. Meanwhile, on the top left-hand side of the map, Hitman, already going for an expansion. This was not what I was expecting from Hitman. I was expecting Hitman to stick onto one base play, and perhaps this little bit of a head fake or a surprise maneuver against me may actually catch CrunCher off guard. CrunCher and Hitman do go up against each other on the ladder fairly often, so they do have a general sense of each other's play styles. And then when you figure out each other's playstyles and you have a different strategy, suddenly you can be caught unaware as you think you know what your opponent is trying to do and not properly scout. Archmage getting close to level 3 here. Panda absorbing quite a bit of damage. Gonna pick up another tome there. Level 3 now on the Archmage as the Farseer is in position. It is level 2 Brilliance Aura over level 2 Water Elementals as the Panda wants to stay well topped off on mana, and topped off he will be with a Sobi Mask, a Potion of Greater Mana, and a level 2 Brilliance Aura just for that level 2 Brewmaster. What's my favorite hero? I personally I like Mountain King, but Mountain King, he's able to, he's just a threat. He's just a big threat and something you do need to deal with. Archmage, however, has so much utility that it's difficult between those two for me. In terms of theme and thematic, I'm not quite sure. Anyways, let's go ahead and go into this fight here. Pulling down the Ogre Magi, Ogre Mother. Both of these players really playing pretty aggressively, I must add, having constant action. And Hitman is still playing this typical style for Hitman. I believe, yes, we do have Sentry Wards down. I thought perhaps we could have had or seen one Troll Witch Doctor. No Troll Witch Doctor. Sentry Ward was, I believe, from an item. Yes, from an item right there, gaining us insight onto the high ground here. We are looking at some Dragonhawk Riders. Dragonhawk Riders looking to poke down some of these units. Wind Riders not able to do very much. Thank you for the follow, as the Panda still looking to engage once more. Ogre Mauler about to get taken down. Farseer now looking to pull back here. Raiders going to try and ensnare here. More Dragonhawk Riders continuing to poke through that damage. Lightning Shield, or Chain Lightning, stealing some of that experience and giving some, other damage on those fleeing units. Tauren Chieftain is sitting at level 3. Kodo Beast gets Wand of Wind picked up. That is an expensive unit. There's a Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, damage on all of these fleeing units once more, as the Tauren Chieftain really needs to be staying a little bit closer to the back to give that Kodo Beast that Endurance Aura. All right, Kodo Beast down to 289 hit points. Shackles onto one Wind Rider right there as the Tauren Chieftain, Tauren Chieftain still trying to fight their way through. One Kodo Beast down to 1 hit point, able to escape. Tauren Chieftain now getting picked up there as the Militia comes in and takes down the Kodo. 52 supply compared to 54. The lines are completely not drawn properly as all the units are just all over the place. Hitman purposely pulling away his units from the expansion, and now CrunCher is going to go ahead and take a look and see that there is in fact an expansion already up. Economic advantage here. Brewmaster now going after Farseer. Going to go ahead and try and Scroll of Town portal back as the units are going to try and engage here, and now, getting up a free offering of all of these peasants. Peasants could easily get taken down here. 1 or 2 more peasants left. Gonna get finished off here. 2 more peasants able to retreat back. 3 peasants in total, as the Arcane Vault gonna act as a little bit of an outpost for this Archmage attack. All right, continuing the engagement here. Panda still wandering around pretty freely. Lightning Shield followed by Stomp. So much lightning damage across the board as the grunts are adding in quite a bit of damage too. Units are trying to retreat back. Kodo Beast wants to eat some of those units. There is one Spellbreaker. Panda could get taken down. No, uses a Potion of Greater Healing in time. Still absorbing quite a bit of damage as you see the Breath of Fire blowing over 2 more Headhunters. All right, a bunch of low hit point Spellbreakers right here. There goes a little bit of poke as well. Panda coming across with another Breath of Fire, getting in more damage again. Farseer trying to come back around. There was a Stomp. Beautiful invisibility. Sentry Ward is not available on the Tauren Chieftain, as the Farseer still looking to engage, adding in more damage. Panda getting in more experience here. Tauren Chieftain gets up to level 4, going after that back line. There is a Chain Lightning Brewmaster down to 118 hit points, trying to fight away. One more follow-up, a bit of damage across all of these units could finish off Grunts, Headhunters. Breath of Fire could come back across. There goes another Grunt there. Kodo Beast could get taken down. What is going on? Farseer gets up to level 4, and there is everyone on a razor's edge here. So many hit points, perhaps not 300 hit points between all of these units, as CrunCher finally using the focus fire of his units here. Beautiful micro by CrunCher to really come out ahead in that fight. On the top left, there is one Orc Burrow here, Scroll of Regeneration, trying to, top off, regroup before this next push. Panda sitting at level 3, almost at level 4. There's a Breath of Fire, gets up to level 4 now. Level 2 Drunken Haze, killing off that Shaman. What is Hitman looking to do? 28 supply, trying to regroup with his army. There are reinforcements coming in from behind. That is not going to be a good spot to be in either, as a Spellbreaker shows up there just in time with the rest of the army regrouping and not getting caught out of position. Hitman, well, does have the supply lead, but could be in a little bit of trouble. Where are all of his units? Raiders and Grunts still back at home. New Kodo being trained up. A lot of the units being trained up still. Meanwhile, CrunCher, it doesn't have any units being trained, since he doesn't have that much gold as Hitman yet. 50 supply compared to 40, as the Orc Burrow could end up getting taken down. Panda needs to get a big breath of fire off, perhaps finish off all of these units. In comes the ensnares, and are we going to be looking at a breath of fire? No, we are not. I would have thought a breath of fire across all of those units would have been enough. Lightning Shield now coming down to try and get some damage onto some of those poor casters who are in that front line still. All right, Scout Tower nearly done. Water Elemental going after the Kodo Beast. There's a breath of fire across more units. Kodo Beast gets taken down, as the Spellbreakers are just still absorbing so much damage and immune to all of that lightning damage surrounding the Tauren Chieftain and that Farseer. Arcane Tower finally up and operational. Panda now low on mana. Does have a Sovi Mask. Does have a potion of greater mana and still that Brilliance Aura, so he should get that mana back quickly. But what can Hitman do? All right, bunch of repairs underway. Units are trying to pull back here. There's some of those repairs once more, as the Dragonhawk Rider shows up. Straight up damage onto the Arcane Tower. Archmage, Tauren Chieftain gets in a stomp, hits the Archmage, even though he's invisible, trying to finish things off. Chain Lightning still bouncing around, as the Tauren Chieftain finally out of mana. Breath of Fire, all completely losing all of that mana right there. Raider may be able to escape. No, down to 27 hit points and finally falls. 46 supply compared to 41. Army sizes are still about the same. Kodo Beast trying to grab a lunch and run. Meanwhile, still still mining here at this base. CrunCher not setting up a new base as of yet, pretty much trying to do an all-in here. CrunCher continuing to fight here. Chain Lightning across these two Dragonhawk Riders could perhaps be enough. No real attack onto those air units. Breath of Fire coming back across, and well, that could be a problem. Kodo Beast slowly getting poked down here. How much damage? Well, Kodo Beast actually dealing quite a bit of damage back to those Dragonhawk Riders, as he has more hit points against these units. Panda coming across, gets a breath of fire across those Kodos as well. Kodo Beast down to 116, could end up getting taken down. Spellbreaker now back out onto the fight. That Scroll of Speed not used early enough. Archmage, Panda did use that potion of mana, and now back up to 181 mana here, perhaps looking to get another breath of fire across multiple units. Meanwhile, this one Orc Burrow trying to, act as a bit of an outpost. No repairs here as the units are trying to engage again. Tauren Chieftain trying to get to the back stop. Is he going to throw down the stomp? Yes, he does. Gets a stomp across multiple units. Chain Lightning finding and hitting down two of those priests as well, as a Kodo Beast down to 93 hit points tries to escape, ends up getting blown over once more. Panda with Breath of Fire going up against Tauren Chieftain with Stomp. As long as the Tauren Chieftain does not get up to level 5 and then level 6, CrunCher has a chance. Getting up to level 6 really throws things for a loop, and there goes some more units once more. Farseer sitting at 4. Tauren Chieftain inching closer to 5. That Tauren Chieftain stomp lasts longer and does more damage, but CrunCher now mainly only sitting on a whole bunch of spell breakers. 45 supply compared to 36. It looks like Hitman's economic advantage may start to translate, but CrunCher is starting to, Hitman is starting to lose this expo, doesn't have the Orc Burrow any longer, and now going to start losing some Shaman. There's a Purge there. Archmage gets up to level 5, opts to go for level 3 Water Elementals here. Tauren Chieftain tries to throw down a Stomp. Is he going to be able to actually stomp anything? There he goes up to level 5 here, trying to stomp down some units, perhaps just trying to get another unit here, trying to find that Brewmaster. Brewmaster down to 321 hit points and still dropping away. There's the Ensnare. Scroll of Town Portal. Is it going to get transferred? No, it is not. It is taken down. Archmage now in trouble, as CrunCher now needs to retreat back. Hitman using every ounce of hit points in his army, looking to fight and looking like he may be able to come out ahead. Farseer is right here. Archmage could be in trouble. Raider, joining in on the fight, gets the Ensnare off. Tauren Chieftain does not get the Stomp off in time, as he did not have enough mana. Units all teleporting away. Poor Panda indeed, as the Arcane Vault now taken down. CrunCher down to 26 supply. Main gold mine only has 2 minutes left, and that may be the beginning of the end. Hitman with a beautiful hold at his expansion being able to fend off the attack until the economic advantage translated into an army size advantage. 51 supply compared to 26. CrunCher may do a all-in last-ditch effort. Torrent Chieftain now trying to make its way over. No Shaman here. A Scroll of Speed trying to chase after that Archmage. Archmage gonna get ensnared. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. There is invisibility right there. Is he gonna try and break free as the Archmage is able to snake free once more? All right, little bit more damage. Archmage leaving all of his army completely to fend for itself, and CrunCher does in fact give the GG. Beautiful game right here. CrunCher against Hitman. CrunCher unable to fend off and unable to deal with the economic advantage that Hitman had. Hitman normally tries to stay into one base play, so it may have caught CrunCher as it caught me off guard by holding on to that expo and consistently trading semi-efficiently with a larger army. He was able to pull away with that level advantage and ultimately, using every ounce of hit points, Hitman's style, he was able to capture and get that panda down. Once that panda was down, that panda represented such a large amount of damage for the human army that once it was down, it didn't seem like damage was really sticking to that orc army any longer. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it.